they're going to be starting here for Koi. In the victories they've had versus Heretics, 8 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack. One of them was an 8-1 attack, so the game literally ended before their attack did. So,
an interesting fight to begin with.
Hey, look, he was in the first duel.
What a surprise. Quelle surprise. Well, Angel's gone down, Smoke's with it, and you can see the side of Koi on the attack wanting to quicken their pace towards the A side. A player already in Sands making his way up the rope and into heaven. A problem for anybody rotating from the spawn. For now, though, they won't be challenged. The spray through the smoke did so much damage. Wolfen and Shados quickly dealt with, and Zipan's off to a flying start. Not much of a slow to it. Maybe we'll see Starzo take him down, but never mind. 3 kills for Zipan right off rip. His raise is looking good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess that's the choice that Angel has right now, is who are you going to make uncomfortable, or who are you going to rely on more when it comes to that individual ability. And I think we saw the desk slightly split in the terms of, okay, we thought maybe he'd play either Jet or Raze, but I don't think there'll be an argument over who you'd rather have on Raze between the 2 players. Like, Zipan is an absolute tank on this agent, has been for a very, very long time, and to kick things off with that triple, well, they're looking to head their way back to another international event. Bear in mind that they have been on a hot streak of making it to lands the entirety of last year. Okay, they didn't technically make it to the first one, but they did qualify. Unfortunately, other things got in the way. But this year, even if Japan wasn't what they wanted it to be, they made it there. Lock-in, obviously, because you get there for free.
It's a team that's also been plagued with stand-ins, individuals missing when it comes to international events.
Yeah.
Nice initiation. Fundament already down. Nade kept them back. Xiao's up close, ready to swing through the door and do some damage, but it's not necessary. Not against these pistols. They don't want to overextend and end up falling behind or giving weapons over to their opponents. So instead, they pop the smoke from Angel, and they start to slow it down. Still the alarm bot covering off north side as well, so nobody coming from dish. You know, everyone else kind of slows it down. This guy's like, I think I heard a step main. Let me swing it with a Guardian.
They tap the orb, and the second they tap it, he paranoid the orb. He was like, no orb for you, and if you go any further, I'm going to peek you. So they haven't. That's going to be one of the main goals as well for Koi in this round, is to make sure that you actually build up your ultimate economy where everything else will fail. But for now, at least, there hasn't been a mass amount of success, and it almost gets to the point where you just have to die. Now, the orb eventually is going to be taken, but 20 seconds left on this clock. Still no ground taken, and in fact, you're looking at a rotation from Shados underneath. I don't even think they know.
12 seconds left now. It is time to push through. They were hoping they had a bit more time on the clock, but it is very much time to go in and die, to be honest, just not to carry these weapons through to the next. And it's a flawless success for the side of Koi. They've all died. It's all good. Reset their economy. 2-0 for NAVI.
Yeah, and they've already bought a couple of Guardians into this one. Rifles being juggled around as well. We've seen this many a time from NAVI with their purchases. They are looking to bring a lot of heavy weaponry. Thanks, Mel, but I am... They kind of asked me to talk.
Like, my boss tells me.
The thing is, she always shows this sign when we are casting and when we have Fracture, and it's really hard not to take offense.
Don't think she does it to anyone else either. I feel targeted.
Toxins going up.
We'll flash up top. The orb through. NAVI have tossed the orb to try and slow them down from, again, grabbing control over the orb in Arcade. Do damage to anybody trying to retrieve it, allow a kill to come down. And around like this, you're not going to risk it. For Koi, though, maybe they'll be able to bait out a fight with it as they make their way forward. Angel in an uncouth position, benefit of his agent being able to take elevated fights, and they have no idea. The shots don't land, though, and Starzo's able to take him down. Warning shots, I suppose, and they don't heed the warning as Koi blitz their way into B.
Well, the point of that was he was meant to take contact, and then Xiao was meant to swing, but because he kind of whiffed so hard, he did go for contact. Xiao did swing, and they were still looking at him because the shots didn't connect. Definitely didn't go to plan with that one, but for Koi, well, couldn't have been any better. Trading out effectively. They will have their first win with the rifles, but now we get the real rifles. And hopefully the real Angel, because that was not the prettiest. It's actually Starzo to get both of the snapback as well. That's kind of ridiculous. A good start for him as well after a slightly quieter map. The other thing to mention as well, that the change of personnel in terms of their agents means that Wolfen is now on a less aggressive position. Now, he was fantastic in the last map, even though it was a loss, but expectations have to be on others to pick up the slack, especially on this attack side. Sure, he's going to be left to lurk, hold control. Okay.
It's not gone according to plan. Even with a dash, I don't think he was getting out of there. Straight into a triple firing squad, 3 players lined up, good flash. No aggression from Sugetsu. Forced back behind the smoke, and now all these players wasting away in spawn. This is going to be a very tough fight back through, with Angel left down to just 5 HP. When you look at the side of Koi post-plant, they still have a Molly, an Aftershock, their Stun will come online, a Nade to work with. Yeah, and I think Navi, you're making that read. They spent nothing on the way through, so there's no way back in for Navi.
That's the thing, like we saw the C's expended by Xiao, which actually does catch a player, but when they don't capitalize on it, it's like, okay, how much more utility do we want to burn up that we're going to have to repurchase into the next round with less than ideal circumstances and risk losing some of our weaponry when we could just save? I will say, like, Angel being the furthest forward player here with 5 HP, the one way kind of helping him out. He might have to burn the paranoia just to make sure he holds onto the gun, and Wolfen's done well. Being able to find one player, it's how much further can he get? Can he cause any extra cost? No. They are going to keep the remaining 3 players surviving, but Koi again, a nice clean round. As said, there's high expectations on their attack.
It's funny as well that he was over by Dish, and it's literally paper thin up there. You can spam through that with ease and block.
Is this map in Korea?
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll let you away with that because he's your bald brother, but that's your one.
They're rusty.
Round 5. Showstopper for Zipan. Keep an eye on that as the round progresses. For now, though, it's over towards A. Deep smoke, Prowler, nobody there. So you're definitely not going to be deploying that anytime soon. The rotations, though, can start as Navi realize there's nobody outside A. Well, there's only one other site they're likely to target at this point. So they've made the right read. There'll be 4 players here when the push comes to shove. But then again, Koi more than happy to sell these fakes, to play those late round rotations if they detect too many players.
Yeah, plenty of time on the clock. Starzo 1 away, Shados 1 away. And Wasagetsu, first kill going his way. An almost instantaneous trade, but bear in mind with some weaker weaponry on the board, trades won't be too bad. Nice flash out from Starzo though. Seeker gonna give away that there's a player up top, and CNED, well, he's not used to having utility. He's gonna be caught with it in hand. Maybe wanted to try and throw out a smoke.
And cloud burst it, yeah. Unlucky.
Sees through.
It's caught?
Yeah, the thing is that I think they were expecting more of a default plant spot, so even though it might have done the work in catching him. And now the main goal, well, any damage and maybe any weaponry being retrieved. Zipan, of course, doesn't have anything really to gain from this circumstance. And actually, still having the Tiger this late in the round might be a little peculiar. They did drop Coldamenta, though.
Oh, Wolfen has no idea how close Xiao is. The tip of his hat spotted as another falls. Koi now actually kind of under threat. They were for just a moment. Now, though, the time should be too far gone with 2 players. They can run the clock down perfectly. Xiao forces the fight, gets them both, but it's too late. The clock has won the round for the side of Koi, even despite some good fights from Navi.
Yeah, no, Xiao's done an incredible job in this round, bringing the weaponry down to absolutely nothing when they had 3 rifles and ultimately ended up in, either 2v4, I think? They've done exceptionally well to make sure that that one is as costly as possible. The thing I'd like so far, though, is almost just the disrespect from Starzo. Like, I feel like he's getting into the zone of, like, okay, I can go toe-to-toe with these players. I can take risks, take space, and fight into their faces. And especially, as said, with an uncomfortable agent for CNED, the pressure being put onto him early is a good sign. Now, though, this is where the rifles come back in. Showstopper available, but look at the ults on the other side. Orbital Strike, Rolling Thunder. 2 high-impact ults for Koi.
Navi had that showstopper to return on. Maybe it'll get a chance. There it is, already used up. Shot out, but nobody found. They ducked down to underpass and just about evaded it. 11 HP left on Starzo as the nade tries to chase him down. He's inside the wolf. It's going to be hard to escape it. He'll just about make it away, out of reach, but the kills came through. Tying it up on a 3 versus 3 with Wolfen down and 10 HP on Starzo. Shados might just have to do this himself. Lead the way to the A site where Starzo will grab a plant. From there, it's about to be a tough round for Koi.
Yeah, he's so desperately low on HP. I felt like Shados almost has to try and make a play off this one. He has Rolling Thunder available. Timing is going to be everything here. His opponent of Xiao. A wall separates them.
Oh, I got him!
It's actually climbed back up. Even still, though, he's managing to hold this ground a little bit longer. Rolling Thunder available. He's going to use it just to try and get that one kill, and he's not going to get it! He stunned up Xiao, but it didn't even matter. And now Starzo sits 11 HP. He doesn't even know where the second player is. The wraparound from Saigetsu might just kill him off, but the time is ticking. He gets this kill, maybe. There's a way he could do it, but the timing has gone amiss. He's not in the right place. They're already going to start that defusal. He needs to kill this man off, and he won't be able to. The time was getting that little bit lower, but no real stress for Navi in the end.
That was almost a Jack Igo play. Thankfully, not going to work out. The Sky flashing himself in. I looked for the 1v2 is probably the best chance that he had. The Rolling Thunder used up to no avail. That's a heartbreaker. And of course, it's Xiao that's able to hit both of those final kills.
Imagine you use an ult on one person and you still don't kill him. That's got to be infuriating.
The only thing I would have given him the benefit of is, you know, he had the reveal. So if he hits that first headshot, I'm like, okay, you saw him coming around, he lined up, but it wasn't. There's a few bullets in. Oh, it's rough. It's really rough. Now 3-3. We're tied up. Could be a slightly better lead for Koi. The early Snakebite has actually managed to chip up a few. It's given a chance for CNED to even take them down on the cross with a wild spam. But in the end, it'll be healed up and just a few points of armor lost.
Yeah, a lot of ults burnt in that last round, bear in mind, though. They were pretty much all built up for the side of Koi. Now the Seeker's the only one available, and on the other side of things, Viper's Pit. And look at the push. North side, all the way. There is nothing watching this flank either, and they've used that Nightfall just to buy that extra time. Somehow, though, Starzo has turned back around and killed both flankers. If they were hit by an ult, revealed, the knowledge was there. And somehow he's still pulling magic out of that hat.
That's ridiculous. There was a ping on the floor, and then I saw Angel use his Shrouded Step. It looked like he thought maybe there was a trap wire that he was bypassing, but instead there was a player watching it. CNED, well look, he's already lost Xiao. 2 prongs left to this attack, now down to just 1. And Saigetsu not feeling like the attempted spear of 5 players. Instead, he's out of here trying to save the weapon. The ping's there. They heard him run back. They know roughly where he could be, and with the close corners cleared, it's evident he's trying to save this weapon out towards the B site. Oh, Saigetsu didn't! I don't know how he got away with that. But, all right, in the end, Coldamenta dies, and he gets the orb he was looking for.
That's the thing. Coldamenta clearly was like, they were calling like, okay, I've heard him run back through mid, blah, 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 and he goes,
the close corner.
Okay, he's definitely nowhere near me there.
Well, he haven't.
So I'll just take the orb. Yeah, again, it's one of those things where I think maybe just overthinking it from Angel, but the thing is, everything up until that point from Navi was perfect. Like, having that Nightfall going through, even if it didn't hit them, it still delayed them massively. They had a perfect flank to catch them in from behind, and then Starzo. And that has been the story of this game so far. He is currently 9-4 at the top of the board. Nobody else on his team even has half that many kills. High impact in high pressure scenarios. It's what champions are made of. It's almost like he's been there before.
Well, a timeout called by Navi. Doombros has plenty of notes to give to his team. I'm sure the Barbar is rattling off commands as we speak as well. Of course, the score, 4-3 to Koi, not to Navi, as the graphic shows. Don't believe it.
Liars everywhere. You can't trust anybody.
Maybe it's 4-3 to Casey.
I was looking at that, I was going, I know that Navi didn't win that round, but the score was playing with...
Who's let Marcus get on the graphics? Right? Someone have a word with him. He's not allowed to do this. But yeah, we're going to be rocking back into things on round 8. And for Navi, 1 round behind, it's been a slow start to CNED, right? Compared to the previous map where he was just dominating, I think we can clearly see this role is having its drawbacks, at least in the early stages. We'll see if it heats up and comfort is found later. But for now... well, look, I can't argue against CNED on Jet. I can argue against seeing that in anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially being in such a pivot. Oh, it's not, see, that one's just unlucky.
Oh, lucky.
The timing couldn't be any worse. Trex is going to get a freebie, but I'm sure that, well, hopefully seeing it isn't an elbowing desk stage. That's when you really have to worry, Trex, though. Squeaky clean. We brought up his raise earlier, but there is a reason we're excited to see him back on this role. We heard from Barber in one of the interviews the other day that he didn't have the confidence in it. That was one of the main reasons they weren't playing. That's why Starzo had picked up a role that, yeah, he's all right at, but definitely no Trex. With that confidence back in tow, Koi about to take themselves a bigger lead and a clean one at that. These last couple of rounds have looked very good for them, and all that stands in their way from flawless is Saigetsu, and well, he will stop them getting that.
Yeah, the first acquired, but the first of how many? These players are hunting him down. The flash has already popped. Player heard right behind him. He's trying to bait the player up top into swinging. He believes someone has already climbed the rope and was just about to take his life when he turned his back. Instead, there was no one there. They fall him back, and they're allowing him to walk into a crossfire. Happy to just win the round without losing any more bodies. 5 on the board now for Koi as their lead extends, and we're starting to get to a pretty interesting place. And we haven't seen Navi really look solid in a round and not get caught off guard, not be 1 kill down and saving in quite a while. It's starting to feel incredibly dominant from the side of Koi.
Yeah, this is where I want to see what Navi have got with this composition. Like we expected, especially when you're running that sort of fade raise, you expect to see some sort of competition for map control. Thus far, that hasn't really gone too successfully, and you need that when the expectation is for CNED not to really have the same sort of performance. With an operator, though, maybe the game will be a little different. Oh, he missed.
A rare
I've not said that today.
No dash to get out of there, but he has managed it. Just his 2 legs. Utility didn't quite make it to him. And Happy now to take another fight and another miss for CNED. Oh, Zipan's luckily there to pick up the fallen pieces. The blast pack in was a little ambitious. And it's left Navi on the back foot once more. A showstopper committed. They've used so many ultimates here. But it looks like they've won the round with 1 HP left on Saigetsu. He will not be attempting to reclaim that site. Instead, he'll be moving to B, where he'll save this weapon. That's 6-3 now for Koi.
Yeah, no, this is starting to look quite bleak for many reasons. It's actually interesting that CNED, well, it shouldn't make a difference with the shots, but it may just be that sort of level of confidence, knowing you have that backup, Saigetsu. Obviously, this is all about just saving the gun. It's not like he has anything else. He's not gaining orbs, because he's already got his ultimate online. Well, for the remainder of Koi, they're just looking to hunt this down. They've still got plenty of cash available to them. But yeah, the interesting thing is he's not, in that round, he wasn't even placing his alarm bot. Like, it's just not being used. It's like, okay, the turret's got that side, I'll hold the other side. If I don't, I die. So it was almost not acting as a sentinel at all. Just, okay, I'm trying to hold on to control. There's a part of me, it's not even going to suggest the jet. I wonder if it would have been worth just playing Chamber.
Just to get out of there, take those early fights.
And then have your off. If that's the plan, then Chamber makes way more sense.
For sure. Yeah, I think what we're seeing so far is a very strange take, not just on how to play the map, because there's not anything intrinsically wrong with what they're doing, maybe how they're doing it a small bit, but it's just to do with the pieces of the puzzle that they have. Having someone like CNED and utilizing him in this way is a strange thing. Nice shot to start with. You're down to pistols. Paranoia could help out massively. It's forced 1 player back, dodging the stun altogether. I thought Xiao was in for it, but Shados delivers when he's needed. Koi with another round win, and this game is feeling incredibly dominant on map 3. Koi want to fight their way back into this series.
Yeah, I wonder if they'd start wishing they started with this one. They just get off to a strong, well, start to the game. Like it's ridiculous how they're managing to just almost blitz their way through, even when there's multiple players waiting for them, even when they miss on that opening duel, the trade backs, it just seems like everybody is so comfortable on this map, winning 7 of the last 8 rounds. And now Navi come in with 4 out of 5 ultimates. You have to feel like this is going to be a victory for them, and Trex is now even pulling in that operator onto the attack, expecting there to be some aggression. Of course, CNED no longer has his. The finances maybe not allowing for it. He does have some spares, but probably not enough.
Well, the nade up top along with the stun. It's been dangerous for many players in the past. It's seen had to fall to a molly this time. He was chased out by the nade, by the stun, and the molly was left to miss. Trex on another. The openings are there. They've got the site control and another plan to come in. For the side of Koi, everything is going right.
Where are you?
The NAVI have not found a response. Round after round, they found themselves in this position. The one thing they've managed is to avoid the plant for now. Make it a little bit more uncomfortable for Koi to eventually plant it and gain full control of this site. But, well, actually, Coldamenta doesn't have any smokes left, so it's going to have to be the flash out of Starzo. There it is. The flash, the stun, and nothing to go their way. They've lost both players now, and that spike is still stuck in heaven.
30 seconds left.
Crossing was difficult. They've got Trex to help, at least managing one, but the showstopper could pretty much end this. He was waiting for that plant to go down.
Oh.
Maybe they're gonna get both, but no. Angel actually stole one just before the showstopper went through. Patience from Na'Vi is enough. It still definitely looks problematic. Like that A-site hold, it was basically just, it looked, well, panicky is the way I'd put it, but luckily, the retake for the remaining players, yeah, see that there was no way out. Good set execute, it has to be said, but definitely difficulty, and wow, I feel like an 8-4 half almost feels deserved.
I can already hear the analyst desk like, can I get last map CNED and this map CNED graphic, please? yeah, all rounds, that's fine. Been a bit rough to begin. Xiao caught off guard, great flash, blast pack from Trex, but it's traded. Angel, oh, he's struggling to get out of there. Luckily, he had the cover from a teammate like Zipan, and now he's back into the fray, back into the fight, and the nade to close it out. What a way to close the final round of the half. This was a dominant half for Koi, but in the end, it doesn't end up looking that bad for Navi. Little hiccup at the end.
Yeah, again, you're kind of looking at that trade-off. The trade-off is you get Zipan on this raise, and he's been phenomenal. Like, the amount of rounds he's almost won single-handedly. In that first fight, I think he was tagged down to 20 HP, still gets 2 more kills. Like, he just seems to be thriving when it comes to this agent, and that's the thing. Now, you move into that attack side. This is where he becomes that focal point. This is where you're going to have the likes of Angel Xiao looking to try and set him up as he bursts into sight. If he can keep this going, which... you're basically asking for him to get a 30-kill half, maybe even more with the way things are going, but not half, 30-kill game. 30-kill half would be a little bit absurd, but it is Zipan, so
that would
you
almost
never
be bannable.
Hey, I still remember when he like broke the ACS record with his Reyna on Icebox. For
something, right?
For Lothar, that was a bannable offense. For everybody else, I was like, you know what? That was pretty impressive.
I remember even starting to slip into Copium back then, be like, maybe this agent's like viable, meta?
Like,
what?
Oh wait, no, maybe.
Just him.
Maybe Zipan's just kind of
like
good.
3 players that could maybe pull that off, and outside of that, they're just going to throw your game. Back then, it was still when we saw players like Element popping off as well. I mean, he was another one that I would rant and rave at you. If you see someone pick a Reyna, I'm ready to see them play poorly and call them out. Element never gave me that opportunity. He was always a stellar player. But yeah, this has been a tough one. And I mean, it's hard not to focus on seeing it. I haven't seen him have a performance like this for quite a while. And I think the desk mentioned it, first time on an agent like this, it is just so different to what he's used to. Even look at the time he dies to the molly. He would have dashed out of there. Like, he's just playing a different game.
Or he just wouldn't have been there. I think that's the other thing. Like, what's the chance of him just hiding in tower?
He would have been peeking A-main. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a different look. There's positives, there's definitely negatives, but even still, getting this down to just a 2-round deficit going into that attack side. And as said, like, you look at the victories that Koi have had in the past on this map, you're talking about 8 rounds on attack. 9 rounds on attack. And even then, some of the times, ending up going to very, very close scorelines. So this definitely isn't done just yet. We now need to see what Koi have been cooking up over on their defensive side, and if Na'Vi maybe have more of a focus on their attack, because leaving CNED to lurk, hold down map control, like, it's not going to change his first bullet accuracy. So maybe that's where they've been working on a lot of what their ideas will do for this one. Either way, for Na'Vi, it doesn't actually matter as much. It might sound silly, but they're 2-0 up within this series. If they lose their opponent's map choice here, they have a couple more maps, one of them being Ascent. which they've been very confident on. I'd be gobsmacked if CNED's not playing Jet on that one. So it's a completely different ball game. And obviously for the side of Koi, you have to sit there and go, okay, you've won the half. You could have won it more dominantly. The pressure is on you.
I mean, they won 7 out of 8 rounds coming off the second round, right? The pistol loss, the follow-up was lost by Koi, and then they went 7 out of 8 rounds in a row. The reality is that was an incredibly dominant half in the majority of buy rounds. And whether you want to say Navi found a solution in the end or just had a good couple of individuals and a couple of setups across fires that worked out.
The solution was Zipango kill.
Funnily enough, who would have known? But regardless of what way you want to look at that, this is the worst setup, the worst start off to a map that I think Navi could have imagined. 1 or 2 things going against them, and this game is almost unrecoverable at this point. And instead, they've ended up 2 behind at the half. It's doable. It's certainly workable. Not ideal, but considering you've got 2 more maps coming up, I think there is 0 pressure on these players' shoulders right now. They've got to be feeling incredible about their odds. Maybe, again, with the exception of CNED. I don't imagine they could be winning 10-0. I think he'd still be like, I'd like to do something, guys. I'd like to not get shot in the back constantly.
Hey, if it gets him back to champions, I don't think he'll mind so much. And that is the thing. We are deep within the storylines. The face-off of course, Coldamenta and Angel. I believe if you're going throughout the entirety of history, this is their 11th time facing off. But while on big organizations, this is attempt number 9. Dead even, 4-4. Chance for one of them to take their roster to champions. Of course, for Coldamenta, it's a chance to take another team to an international event. Like the history that he has doing it alongside with obviously the very first Masters, which was an international with Ascend, G2, obviously, Guild as well. And now he's sat here with Koi looking to try and do it again. But this is definitely the most challenging way he'd have to do it. LCQ, champions on the line. He's never made it there, and they need to fight back from a 2-map deficit. They've got good maps ahead of them, but first they have to get through Fracture.
What a terrible time it would be to have had such a good season for Koi after turning it around here in LCQ, beating Navi twice, and then fall at the final hurdle, the important game. Especially having 2 chances to qualify. Stings even worse coming from the upper bracket. But for now, that's not a thought that they can entertain. They're 7-5 in the lead. The pistol has already kicked off. The barrier's up long ago. 10 HP and 75 left on some of these players for Koi. The advantage is theirs, and the flash seems to just be there to keep them back, to slow the push of Navi. They spotted CNED already earlier on. That's why he smoked off.
Tracks. His nade will have done even more damage. Angel left low, and there's so many players here at this point. You'd basically have to see massive mistakes for the side of Koi to let this one slip. They are somewhat out in the open and very committed into this site. The problem is 30 seconds left. It has to be the move now from Na'Vi to get anything done. Finally, they'll kill off Trex, but then there's the firing squad on the other side just waiting. There's no way they win this one off the time or off anything else. It's just going to be off a bloodbath as they look to make their way through. A single smoke, though, actually allowing the cross. They were waiting patiently to get that in. Saigetsu has somehow found another. This is starting to look a little disjointed from the side of Koi. This pistol should have been over a long, long time ago, and now somehow Na'Vi have found a way back in, an afterplant, as they know where both players reside. They even have the cross being held, and Saigetsu is just taking them down one by one. An ace to win out the pistol round from Na'Vi. And I don't know how Koi lost that.
Do you know what's incredible about this? I'm staring at Starzo with a flash in hand, waiting to see it pop the whole time. You mentioned the firing squad held up on main. The smoke that went down plays against them if they pop that flash through. What actually happened was Angel snuck his way over to the door, opened it up. Starzo turned around, went, I see what you're trying to do, buddy. I know how you like to play. Goes back, uses his flash there, thinking he can isolate a 1v1. He doesn't. And now he doesn't have his flash, and what happens? Everybody comes through the smoke, one after another. Sugetsu picking them off as they do. That is a ridiculous round, and honestly, experience is what wins you that. Navi knew if they pumped the brakes, Koi would get cold feet. They'd start to get itchy and want to move.
Do you know something funny?
Mm-hmm.
Angel using a smoke in the late round.
Angel being alive in the late round.
Well, that's the point I'm making. What are the chances of that ever happening? It wins them the round as well. Just that extra little bit of doubt thrown into the minds of their opponent, the space to cross, it's impressive. And well, Koi could have had a golden path, a yellow brick road. Instead, well, facing him with very little. Saigetsu, he is still just getting kills with this Ghost. The same from the last round. Finally, somebody else will get a kill. Has seen it, I believe, with his second of the map.
That's quite a statement around 14.
Yeah.
Again, doubling down on that graphics package. Previous map and this map comparison. There is no comparison. Oh, just about safe there, Coldamenta, and he's walked into the nade. He was gone no matter what on that one. Just an attempt to take someone down with it. Oh, that couldn't have went any worse. Drop the weapon to retrieve another, and
hey,
well.
Angel's timing around those doors.
It's good. It's good. He is feeling the round breathe. Suffocating it at just the right moment. Gorgeous stuff so far. 7-7 as we're tied up.
17 and 6, by the way, for Saigetsu. Like we spoke about it in some of the earlier maps that like he was actually keeping up with CNED. Well, I think his overall stats are going to eclipse him just because of what he's been doing in this map so far. And now for Koi, as said, they had a huge advantage. They could be sat here 9-5 up, getting their way ever closer to taking us to a fourth map. And instead, level pegging Na'Vi, getting ever closer to booking their ticket to Champions, and Trex is gone. He's come just from the wallbang. A response will be there, though.
At least some fight left in them for now. And with Angel falling, this could be great. Shados has the control, but he's flanked on by Zipan. Another angle, not expected. And Starzo's down to 45. It's left in the hands of Coldamenta for the most part to do the damage. A smoke, a molly, a flash still in play for Starzo. They could combine into a scary situation. Zipan not caught moving down the rope. He's seen a second later. Fighting now dangerous as he's on 40 HP.
Oh, the
flash was
miscommunication.
That's another one. When you have that smoke still to play with. We know how important it can be. A headshot delivered. Now, very little HP to share. Just above 50.
That's the thing. Everybody in the server right now, low. Obviously, much worse
30 seconds
for one side of things.
I saw Starzo get decayed. I thought he'd like jump down and lost 30 HP, but
timing! Oh, he's gonna go down. Zipan just not missing a beat, and now Coldamenta, the wrap through, is gonna try and fake the sound of the door as he swings back in his work, but he doesn't hit the shots. The Viper's pit's gonna go up. It doesn't make a difference to Colda. He's on 8 HP, but that could have been it. He could have brought things back. The second he walks through, he's surely gonna demise, and that will be Zipan with another multi-frag round. And I don't know, it looked like there were so many opportunities here for Koi to get themselves into the lead, and instead, they now sit one behind. Every single thing that Na'Vi does, everything they touch seems to turn to gold, and oh, this man is at the heart of it. Such a great map from Zipan.
That yellow brick road not looking too bright now for Koi. The path to champs 3 maps in a row. Now they've lost their lead as well, one that they fought hard for, and they looked incredibly strong when they gained it. No signs of slipping until now. They're gonna wish they could click their heels and wake up from this nightmare fairly soon. And with Angel picking up a double, just denying any space for this squad on a low buy round, they'll be getting nothing done. The spike easily retrievable for Navi. It's left in their spawn. Koi will hope to just go on the hunt for a couple of kills, a few players who don't have buddies close by. And well, there is one of them. Zipan is up close, a battle between both Raze players. Trex having a disadvantage in weaponry, but a shot to the head would leave him dead. Luckily, for Zipan, that is, the shot is missed.
Well, Na'Vi this time, taking it slow. They've got such an inherent advantage in this round. There's no real reason or rhyme to overface, take any risks. They're waiting to see what sort of response their opponents have, and unfortunately, with the patience, they did start to rotate players away. Now, they at least have all of their players in the right place at the right time, but doing anything with that is another story altogether. Starzo priming a flash, somehow managing to get one. A little bit of support from his teammate, and now the clock starts to become a bit of a factor here. Shados has dropped it once more. Somehow this has become doable.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds. The swing's going to come through any moment now. The turret might spot it, but not in time. They haven't gone for it. They thought maybe they could play it on the time, but no. It's come down to the fights in the end with the spike plant. CNED secures it. 9 on the board for NAVI. The lead ever greater. And the gap between the two. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Koi pick up a round. Some have been close, but that's little consolation when you're this far behind.
Yeah, the way this round started, it looked like it was going to be easy. Again, another well-timed flash, some solid utility. And honestly, that came down, genuinely came down to the distance a blast pack was thrown. If that goes a little bit further forward, that denies the plant. And that's why you didn't see the remaining two players just rush the planter. They believed that blast pack would have done it. And so they didn't hear the second attempt to plant, so they just waited. And unfortunately, for Trex, just came up a little bit short. Now, well, only 2 rounds behind, but it's going to feel like a lot for the side of Koi. They were going into this with a lead. They took the first 2 kills in a pistol and let it slip. And Angel, he's been disrespecting them, but this time Trex put him in his place.
It's about time. The opening duel lost by Angel. Back to normality as Koi seek out their win. We're going to have Seekers catching some players just outside of A. And it's actually going to sell that they're all the way over on this B side. The information there to play with now for the side of Koi, but they pushed up north side, spotted by CNED. No successful duel. The stun pushes him back. They've bought space. And they're hot on the heels of these players who are just now making their way into heaven on B. The Rolling Thunder is going to be deployed. Koi on their way back through, seizing this space out of the hands of their opponents. And NAVI can do little to fight back. The spike down, as are all of the players on the attacking side. Koi finally found a solution.
Nah, that's the exact sort of round you're looking for. As clean as it gets, boost that confidence up a little bit, and not out of the map as said. Of course, there's going to be a response. NAVI still having a showstopper of their own, one on either side, but these are the sort of confidence plays from the likes of Starkso, Wolfen as well, that we were seeing early in this map, where they were just blitzing through all of CNED's utility. Here we go, though. Nearly every single ult close to being online for the side of Natas Vincere, and while the early fight is not going to pay off this time for Koi. They've been forced back, and NAVI going back into what is more of their patient stance. We saw it over the last few rounds, executing quite late. They are, however, going to use the lockdown here. They have players watching to see if anybody's going to try and make an excursion through Arcade, but nope, the majority, in fact, all of them, are either in spawn or rotating the south side.
Oh, Angel's lucky there's no one to follow up on that trap being triggered. Koi being very cautious as they give up a ton of space. The Tiger, okay, it's caught him stunned up and soon to be gunned up, but CNED's here to support. He's not swinging too wide. Bought his time, and at least manages the trade with the kill from Sagetsu. The lead stays in their hand, but not for long. With CNED falling, someone else needs to step it up, and Xiao gonna whiff the shots from down below. Showstopper activated, Zipan's looking to delay them at least for a moment. And the shot is good, right onto Trex with Shados found. The odds have flipped. In a heartbeat, Wolfen finds himself alone, his pack nowhere to be found. And the time so desperately low, even the blast pack costing him precious seconds that he cannot afford to lose. It's already done. The question is, can he even make it out alive? And it's not looking likely. The spike taking him down and pushing NAVI up one more. The lead extending up to double digits.
Yeah, just the time that was bought. I think Trex realizing that if they don't make that pressure onto the player with the showstopper, the clock would be too far gone to fight back, even though they did well. I like this outside adaptation, the lockdown pushing them back. They didn't just sit there, they didn't just wait. They rotated and took back ground, put the pressure onto Saigetsu, which has been difficult this game. He's still sat there with a 2 KD.
It's ridiculous, actually. Zipan's not far behind him. One extra death in the way through, catching him. The good thing here, let's sell some hope for Koi. They've got the showstop. They've got the orbital strike. A ton to work with. This could be massive if this stun hits.
Yeah, he could be past the contact point, though. That's the thing. Angel, I don't know if this is even going to go through onto him. In fact, they're going to swing. Nice work. Decent trades. That was the main worry, is that he just, again, just disrespected them to the point
That's crazy.
where there was nothing to be had. Oh, Cena, if he's going to go, he's got to go now. Otherwise, it's going to be revealed. And oh, even while being pinged, the spike's now going to be dropped.
This is an expensive round for Koi off rip. I love the idea. They've got to secure it now. The easier part sometimes with CNED taking down Wolfen, some utility loss, some information to be gained for the side of Koi. Both players now regrouping. HP decent. They've even got a Nightfall to play with. Unlikely that it's deployed here.
Every player's isolated. Even if they did use it, it would likely only connect onto one person. That might be by design of Koi, not wanting to risk it. Utility dodged. They know nobody's in the corner anymore. That at least helps them out a little bit. But the clock even starts to become an issue here. They've managed to get the spike. They just took it. They just walked up. Nobody stopped them. Somehow, okay, there we go. Denial of utility. So many flashbangs going off in the face of the opponent. They don't expect Xiao to be deep, though. CNED has to stick it this time. And now they have grouped up. Xiao just looking to defend him, but he can't do it. CNED sat on the back. He almost converted that round. But again, Koi, they cling on.
Out of charges.
Not their day. Well, that remains to be seen, Breach. But Koi are certainly heating up, closing in the distance. That came so incredibly close, down to a second. I mean, CNED, if he has his gun out half a second earlier, it's a different game. Or Map first fight, but they're able to swing together, able to get the trade by a margin I don't want to consider.
Hit the headshot. Like, even if he doesn't get the insta-kill, that could have been...
that body, I think CNED makes the adjustment. We've seen it.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely don't doubt him in that regard.
Hit them fast.
Also, considering how much they expended there for their contact play, the fact that that was so close
Trax is going.
doesn't make me feel comfortable.
Marked one.
Nobody caught outside of Ace, outside clear. Trap for North. They've seen players outside B. I think the initial plan here was to get Trax popping that showstopper, but once the lack of information is found, they decide to slow it down. Pushing us through. Well, I say slow it down. It's 120 on the clock. They're in their opponent's spawn. Two players pushing up. That turret has seen them. Information now in play for their opponents. And so NAVI decide to blitz forward. There's players behind us, so there shouldn't be too many in front of us. Lesser of two evils. And for now, they've certainly found the safer spot to plant in the open. And oh no, Coldamenta. He got hit by that ult.
That might be a save.
Oh, yeah, that has called it. No smokes even on the way back through. You would have to hope Trax maybe just gets like a double with the showstopper or something ridiculous, and it's not worth it. Not this late in the game.
No, and with the back and forth, NAVI again creep ever closer to making it to champions. Again, you have to talk about the fact that in this matchup so far this season, they were yet to take a map. Losing twice in 2-0 fashion. The last time out, it was incredibly dominant. 9 rounds is all they managed across the 2 maps. This time out, they fixed their issues. They've changed a lot of what they've been running from map to map, different compositions. And the fact is, you get into these later maps, like Lotus being the last, and maybe Koi have a chance, but the fact is, getting there now seems a much tougher task. At the beginning of the year, we expected NAVI to be that top 2. Okay, Fnatic have looked filthy. Liquid being competitive, but at a minimum, a 3rd place. Well, now they're looking to take the 5th spot at Champions. It hasn't been the year that NAVI wanted just yet. But we talk about that story of redemption, and for Koi, they are the only thing standing in the way of Natus Vincere, and they need to dig deep. Because at this point, NAVI are only 2 away.
Oh, the push down. They're going to try to destroy the lockdown. Showstopper's gone in. Lockdown still up. Someone needs to swing. Someone needs to take that fight and destroy that ultimate, but nobody can. They've all been killed on the way through. Shados running for his life. He'll barely round the corner, tucking in his belly as he goes. Just about able to survive. There's only one player who's not.
Spike planted.
Wasn't stunned up. But they realize the timing is right now for them to be back online. There's no need to push further. It's a 4 versus 2. Shados gets some health back, but the fight's going to be near impossible. 2 flashes online for Starzo, still his Tiger to play with. But those rifles and the lack of credits to back them up make this an easy choice. An easy choice on paper, maybe not too easy to call and stick to. They have to save it, get out of here, and fight for 3 rounds in a row. Not only 3 rounds in a row to win the OT and then make it 3 maps in a row.
We've said it. The desk has said it. When their opponents hit 12, Koi become a different beast. But that's the thing. Unfortunately, they've had that pretty much every single time. Na'Vi have hit 12 before them in every map so far, and unfortunately for them, they have been yet able to turn things on its head. For Natus Vincere, they are an organization with a history of success across multiple titles. They spent that dollar to get this team. The Phoenix fell to ashes, and now they look to rise back up once more. It is a tough spot for Koi to be in. As said, they've got the caliber of players. You've got Masters winners. You've got Champions winners. You've got an in-game leader who's done it with more teams than anybody else. You've got a coach who's been there before, alongside him as well. But at this point, he's been given 30 or so seconds to try and fix every single problem that they have. And
It's a tough job.
some would say it's an impossible job. You not only have to...
Those people wouldn't make it as coaches, let me tell you.
That is also true. There's the couch coaches, but they're slightly different.
A little bit sit back in the armchair. Well, I'll tell you what, there's no sitting back and relaxing for these boys right now. This is one of the biggest games of their careers, certainly looking at the implications on the rest of the year. And for Navi, it's unreal. The last time they played this team, we were talking about the worst streak in Angel's career. We hadn't seen it since beta days. Like, VALORANT had always been somewhere that he could find success. Maybe Boaster's squad, Summon FC or Fnatic could always cause problems, headaches. Time and time again, he came out on top. And even outside of that, in the few losses they experienced along the career, it was never more than 2 in a row. Just a few days ago, he hit 4, doubling up. The worst season that he'd ever had, and now the path to redemption, it's paved clearly in front of them. 1 more round for Navi. They will be locking in their spot at Champions, where, don't get me wrong, plenty more to prove when they go there. But what a way to start it if they end up 3-0 in this LCQ finals.
Look at the weaponry for Wolfen. It's not ideal, and Angel will be the one to kick things off. A start that they desired, and he looks to lead by example. 3 players now standing in the way of Angel making it back. That redemption story being complete, but he almost goes down.
God, Trax has just gone for it. Blitzing through, they want to end this quickly, at least this round, hopefully in their favor. Coldamenta doing well to fight back. Zipban's only got the 1. The chance here for Koi to get the defuse already halfway. They're gonna swing out wide, take him down, and they'll do just that. The pond has run dry for Koi as Navi pave that road to redemption. Now they've locked in their next destination of Los Angeles.
Oh, you mentioned it. To hell and back. The Angel had to rise from the depths. The wings have sprung as they will be flying their way over to Los Angeles as they look to fight once more on the champion stage. They have